Hey guys, so today I'm going to explain aftermarket harnesses to you. So a lot of you that are getting work done or buying your own aftermarket stereo and you got to buy parts might be a little bit confused on what actually you have to buy, and the pricing sometimes is a little bit confusing too. So we're going to go over that today. Another thing too is some people might think, oh, well, why do I need to buy an aftermarket harness? You know, all the wires are right there. This would apply to an install like this because you don't have to deal with any of the data bus stuff. But you know, why would I buy this harness when I could just cut all the wires? They're all there. Yeah, you're right, they are all there. But you know, for one, if you're going to cut it, it's going to make reversing the job a lot harder. Two, because it's color coded, you're going to make sure that your speakers are in phase. So that makes sure that you have optimum sound quality at all times. You know, you're not hooking up the wrong wires anywhere. It just makes your job a lot easier. So, you know, don't be cheap. Spend the 15 or 20 bucks and buy the aftermarket harness. Make the job look nicer, make it reversible, and don't butcher up your vehicle. Also, keep in mind that the products I'm showing you today is a very small fraction of what's available in the market and how many different types of interfaces you can get. I'm not even going over steering wheel controls yet, so, you know, take it for what it is, and just keep in mind that I'm going over the basics of why you need these parts. In most typical installs, you're going to need an aftermarket harness. Now, this is an aftermarket harness in its most basic form. This is a typical GM harness, so it has all the wires in it that you need to hook up your aftermarket stereo. So we have it opened here now, so as you can see, this is the female end, just plugs right into your car. Here's all your wires for your hookup. The nice thing about these are they're color coded, so it's hard to get it wrong. Just make sure you read the instructions that it comes into, just to make sure. Also, some vehicles might need an aftermarket antenna adapter because the vehicle's antenna isn't a standardized antenna plug that you can see right there. So this is again for a GM or a Chrysler. Even some of the Fords use this plug now. So if you want to maintain your AM and FM, you're going to need one of these. Now, the parts I just showed you before, you can buy each of them for under 20 bucks easily. Now, when it comes to newer vehicles, they're using data bus systems now, and the radios run through that as well. So nowadays, you're going to need some sort of interface to interact with the data bus system in order to get your deck to turn on and also get other features going. So as an example that we have here, I have a GM harness, I have a Volkswagen harness, and I have a Chrysler harness. And we're going to go through a couple of them and explain why you need these parts. So for this example, I have a GM C2R GM24 pack audio module. Now what this module does is it gets the data bus signal and it gives you a proper 12 volt turn on, because in a GM, usually around the 2000 to even most of the newer ones now, they don't have a 12 volt signal anymore, so you need this to actually get it. The other thing this does is it has a chime module in it. So that reminds you if your lights are on, to put on your seatbelt, any audible warning that the vehicle came with standard it maintains, and also maintains your RAP. What RAP stands for is retained accessory power. So you know when you turn the vehicle off and the deck stays on, even with the key out, that's what that maintains. Now a lot of you are thinking, I don't need it, which is true, you could technically do it without this, but this makes sure that the computer sees everything it needs to. I have never actually seen an airbag code or engine light come on because of this without using this, but I still think it's a good idea. The main reason I like using this too is the audio warning system in a vehicle, at least around here, you're not actually legally allowed to disable it. It's there for your safety. I know it's annoying and we've all seen it before, and like, you know, you're just really used to it, but it's there for your safety to remind you to put your seatbelt on, or even if you left your lights on or anything like that. So that's the main reason why this module does. It's mainly for the chimes and to actually give you a proper 12 volt. And it's all color coded as well, so it makes your install a lot easier. Now for the next example here, I have the Volkswagen and the Chrysler parts. So it's a C2R VW2 for pack for the Volkswagen, and a C2R CHY4 for the Chrysler, or Jeep or Dodge, whatever you want. So the cool thing about these two is it does the exact same thing as I mentioned with the GM part. These do not maintain your chimes. The chimes are done separately. But the cool thing is, because these interact with certain CAN bus systems in these vehicles, it's going to make your install a lot easier. It's going to give you reverse output. It's going to give you parking brake. It's going to give you your e-brake. Everything that you'd usually go for an install, roaming around trying to find it, it's actually going to give it all to you in the harness. So one, it's going to be a cleaner install, and two, it's just going to be a lot easier in cutting your install time down by quite a bit. And again, this will give you the proper power outputs, because behind the stereos in those vehicles, there's no proper 12 volt switch. You only have 12 volt constant and your ground. And yes, you can do it without these, but I do recommend that you use this just to make sure that the computers are happy and that you know you're doing the job properly with these parts. So, you know, spend a little bit extra time saving money use these parts. If you're going to own the car for a long time, you can keep using these parts even if you were to change your deck. So that's pretty much the basics of vehicle harnessing in the aftermarket world and the different options that you have available to you.